That lawnmower. That's it. Start that. Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know.
Basically told Roach, he tagged Lamar Roach, and he said, "Look, you're not getting that fight with Tank."
A day in the life of Gervonta Davis as he prepares for Jake Paul is all about focus and hard work, as every session is built around sharpness, power, and speed. From conditioning drills to sparring, he stays disciplined and locked in on his goals. Each workout shows his determination to prove himself ready for the challenge ahead with no room for distractions. Rolly Romero's comments bring a balanced perspective to the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight.
But like, Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, like, or it's an exhibition. We don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Do you think it impacts, like, will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were, like, to beat him or even, like, knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, a 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
You know, some people trying to give, that's fair, some people trying to give Tank a hard time. They're saying, like, he should have took a fight with Lamar Roach or Shakur Stevenson. But when you think about it, do you think this is business and look, he's getting a bag, or is there some validity to people saying that he ducked Roach?
I mean, there's still other options, you know. It's like, bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him.
He emphasizes that Tank's legacy is safe regardless of the outcome. As a world champion who has already accomplished significant achievements in the sport, Davis does not need to prove himself against Jake Paul. Romero acknowledges, however, that Jake's size is a legitimate factor. Being naturally bigger gives Paul an advantage physically, but it does not diminish the accolades and respect Tank has already earned. Paulie Malignaggi highlights the critical distinction between experience and size. While Jake Paul has grown in popularity and physicality, Malignaggi insists that boxing experience outweighs brute strength.
I don't care if he's much smaller. I think Jake Paul has sort of plateaued as far as where his boxing is concerned. It's rather low level. Yeah. He's big, he's physical, he's strong, he can hit. So there is that risk. Davis, at lightweight, you're in a moment where it's too physical for you. You can clinch. Against the heavyweight, where you clinching? You ain't getting out of that corner just clinching anymore if you run out of space. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But Davis, listen, there's a lot of talking points that I'm sure we'll get into when this gets closer to the fight. Davis can still punch at lightweight. Can he drop a heavyweight? There's a lot to gain there, right? If Davis knocks...
The answer is yes.
If Davis drops Jake on his ass, as much as Davis is the one with more to lose, it's still a highlight moment.
A visual that will stay forever.
Yeah. But if you get dropped, even if you're smaller, you're still a world champion, multiple weight classes. If you get dropped, what's the look? What's the feel? On the inside, as boxers, me and Chris Algieri, the champ, even you, Jimmy, you have fight experience, so we know that the risk is a big guy that big hits you. You're probably going down if you're a small guy, if he hits you clean. So we know the risk, but how does it look to the public eye who don't understand that? You know what I mean? The public. So there is a lot to lose, though. There's a bit to gain. I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with this had Davis's career arc been one that benefited boxing. Davis was manufactured and put into a position where he's supposed to benefit boxing, and I don't think he has. I think he's hurt boxing. So by giving him this reward, that's my problem. Why are we watching this? Why don't you make him earn his spot that he still hasn't earned?
Gervonta Davis has fought on the biggest stages, headlined massive events, and faced elite competition. No matter how big Jake Paul is, he cannot match the years of training, ring IQ, and adaptability that Tank brings. Malignaggi's assessment leans on the idea that in boxing, skill and experience often decide outcomes over size alone. Teofimo Lopez frames the event as more spectacle than sport. In his eyes, the fight is not about legacy or rankings, but about entertainment and financial gain. He acknowledges that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis stand to make enormous sums, and that should not be overlooked.
And I'm actually very happy for Gervonta and Jake. I really am, man. It's good for the sport in some way, you know?
So a heavyweight versus a lightweight.
Yeah.
You got a fly hit me, yeah. A heavyweight versus a lightweight. How's this going to work?
Hey, they make it work. It's an exhibition for a reason. So, you know, they know what they're doing. And, you know, shout out to Netflix and shout out to both of them, honestly. Like I said, I think a lot of people in the boxing world are kind of upset. I could care less. I think they're going to go out there and make their money. It falls on the number 8 for a reason. They're going to make a lot of money.
Have you got a prediction for that fight?
My prediction, a show. A show.
Well, clearly it's a show, but when you've got a lot of people underestimating Jake Paul once again, but when you've got a heavyweight boxer who knows how to throw punches and knows the basics against a lightweight, it's quite a difference. I mean, have you sparred heavyweights before?
Yeah.
For competitive sparring in the ring?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same, not at all. Definitely got to move. I've actually played around a few times, went through between their legs just to duck around. But yeah, because they're taller, you know. But I think for that competition, that fight, it reminds me a lot like The Big Show, and Floyd Mayweather when they fought in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And will that end the same way?
Possibly. Maybe some brass knuckles in there too.
Can you see Jake Paul knocking out Gervonta Davis?
It's boxing, man. And if it's a show like this, anything goes, anything happens.
While it may not carry the weight of a world championship contest, Lopez believes it is still good for boxing. By drawing mainstream attention, even an exhibition-like fight can generate new fans and extend the sport's reach. Nate Diaz, known for his blunt honesty, dismisses the matchup entirely. For Diaz, the fight offers no genuine competitive value. He argues that no matter who wins, the outcome does not enhance either fighter's career in a meaningful way. He labels it as a show designed purely for entertainment, much like professional wrestling or stage events. His perspective cuts through the hype, presenting the fight as a sideshow rather than a legitimate sporting contest.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think.
He's just too small.
It just. I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think. My thoughts on it is let's watch it, see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. You agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so
right.
It's like, at least that's happening, and it's getting something to talk about, something to watch, and
Jeff Mayweather echoes Nate Diaz's sentiments with equal skepticism. He finds the matchup unusual and questions the motivation behind it. To Mayweather, there seems to be little logic in pairing an established champion like Tank with a YouTube star turned boxer in Jake Paul. While he acknowledges the business side of the sport, he still considers the event odd, bordering on unnecessary. His commentary reflects a confusion many traditional boxing fans feel about crossover fights. KSI, who has been in the influencer boxing scene himself, sheds light on Jake Paul's promotional tactics.
I knew AJ and Jake was never going to happen.
I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought it was actually going to happen? Bro, it's so crazy. Like, I feel like so many people just believe everything online.
But that's pretty unbelievable on the other hand.
I feel like I know. Well, okay, how do I say it like this? Itoma versus White. I had a lot of people bet on White winning. And I'm there like, you guys don't watch boxing, do you? You just look at a record and go, Dylan's fought many more people than Itoma. That record says a lot. Itoma's like 18, not 18, Itoma's 20, inexperienced, one. Like, I just knew Itoma was gonna just destroy him. And I think a good fight for Itoma would be him and Wilder.
According to him, rumors of Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua were never realistic. Instead, KSI claims they were designed to stir hype and mislead the public. In his view, the fight with Tank is another step in Jake's strategy of building buzz rather than pursuing legitimate heavyweight level competition.
story. So one of my good friends, Armani, he has been working with Jake Paul for the last 2 years. Oh. There was a little time where Shane wasn't there with Jake, and Armani called me up and said, "Hey, BJ, will you come down to Big Bear and spar with Jake?" And I'm like, "You want me to spar with Jake?" I'm thinking to myself, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, he's beating up all his sparring partners. I was like, all right. I mean, fine, I'll go down there and do it. I have been inactive. I haven't done anything for like 8 months. But I was like, okay, I'll go down there. So we spar a couple times. After that, they decided I was too big for him. And, it's better if we just, not do it. And, then they asked me if I would be interested in like working the mitts with him and helping him with the combinations, because I was hitting him with some combinations they hadn't seen before. And I said, we can teach him all those things and have him doing all those things. And so I started working the mitts with him and helping him out on the mitts. And he told his trainers and everybody, they're like, "Man, I want BJ around for the entire camp because I'm getting better." My job is like Shane does the advice in the corner and I do the.
KSI's words underline the theatrical and often manipulative nature of modern boxing promotions. BJ Flores, who has trained Jake Paul extensively, takes a more positive stance. He believes that Jake's long-term development lies with cruiserweights and heavyweights, where his natural size fits best.
Frying panning into the fire because we thought we were going to get Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua very soon. We'll speak to Frank Smith about that in the next section, obviously. Eddie Hearn was teasing it to me personally last week. £80 million on the table for Anthony Joshua to fight Jake Paul. But 8 inches in height difference, 7 weight divisions between them, 5 stone, 70 pounds between them. It's a joke. It's a circus fight as opposed to a disgrace of a fight, which was Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. At least you feel in this you've got quite a poor, very big one against a pound-for-pound, brilliant, unbeaten little un. And the little un who'll come up to his navel will hit him with a lot of body shots. I said in the week to Danny Kelly and Charlie Brooker that... do I mean Charlie Brooker? No, Baker. Charlie Baker. That Charlie Brooker's a different person altogether. That... he'll be throwing the Superman punch, the leaping left hook. It's going to be a very odd thing. It's called, in inverted commas, an exhibition bout. But everybody in boxing who is a name doesn't mind going in with Jake Paul because they know they're making millions of dollars. And that's the only reason that Gervonta Davis, who's being called the poison little elf by Jake Paul, and it'll be fun in the build-up. Everybody in boxing knows they're guaranteed to make millions of those silverbacks, those greenback notes that they give out in America, and they give them out for fun when Jake Paul fights. So he's not going to say no to it. But can you pick a winner in that fight?
I don't want to.
However, Flores acknowledges that the Tank Davis fight opens doors. By sharing the ring with a champion, Jake elevates his profile even further. This, in turn, will create new opportunities with bigger opponents in higher weight divisions. Flores suggests the Tank fight is more of a stepping stone for Jake's boxing journey.